We're going to introduce the panel. This is probably a DHL first, all of the DHL leaders in one place at one time. So Pablo's hosting the session, so I'd like to welcome on the stage Pablo, Natalie, Stu, Paul and Duncan.
Hello everyone. Are we on? Yes, good to see you again. Hopefully you enjoyed lunch and you had a good tour and good conversations. So, purpose of this session, which is a little bit unique, I was told that this is the first time that we are bringing all 4 business units in the UK together to have a panel, which feels a little bit pathetic that we're doing this for the first time, right? But it's good that at least for the first time, I will not be the one answering the questions, I will be asking questions. And I have been given a very precise list of questions to ask here. But let's try to make sure that we do it as meaningful as possible for the audience here and for, bringing value to our customers in terms of your thoughts in your respective business units. So, first question, it's for Stu. How many molecules of CO2 are contained in 2 liters of diesel?
I knew you would never stick on script, Pablo.
Okay,
never.
no, I'm joking. So of course, I'm not going to be asking that question. So we have 3 questions, very simple 3 questions. Has been a long day, so we will keep it simple and meaningful. First question is, you all operate in the logistics, very broad spectrum of the industry, but at the same time, you have your very specific value proposition and positioning in the market. So what is your view in terms of the latest and changes that are taking place in your respective sector, in the industry where you operate, and how, what is it that you think that customers should be considering in today's business context? So maybe we can start with you, Natalie, please.
I think there's probably 3 things for me. One is around sustainability, and how do we help our customers achieve their sustainability goals. I think one is around supply chain resilience, and for the past few years we've talked a lot about supply chain disruption. I think disruption is the new normal, so how do we work with customers to make their supply chains more resilient? And then the other one is probably around automation. And I think particularly in the UK market, as we see challenges around labour and wage rates, that automation piece is going to become more critical.
Good, thank you. What about global forwarding?
I think the acceleration in the market will continue. I think that our group, whether individually or collectively, I never can believe the amount of opportunities that still sit out there in the market today. And I think whether we have those conversations with customers individually or as a group, that there are so many things that we can continue to offer our customers as the region continues to evolve.
Excellent. Quick question on global forwarding. There's a lot of talk about air capacity impacted by two things. One is the entire changes in supply chain from China, yes, de minimis US and so on. And the second one is the entire ocean freight disruption going on in Africa. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the ocean situation will probably continue throughout 2025. I think the carriers will want to see stability before they start to go back through the Suez Canal. Mm-hmm. I think that the planning and the time it takes to change the rotations of the vessels, they're going to want to make sure that the peace deal is strong. So I think that we're going to see the continued disruption for the majority of 2025, but with a hope that we'll come out towards the end of the year in a much more stable and therefore prosperous position.
Excellent, thank you. So Duncan, your views?
Just really, I suppose, to build upon what Natalie was saying in terms of disruption is definitely the norm. I think we are still very much in a VUCA state, so there's a lot of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. So whether that's the state of the global economy, whether it's some of the conflict and the wars, whether it's the changing of tariffs, which we're currently seeing with the administration teams in the US. So with that, it's making sure that you're partnering with somebody that's historically seen challenges that are similar, overcome them, and are able to remain resilient, remain agile, and be able to really ensure that the service that is given is at the highest quality in the market. So if you're looking back on history, we had the ash cloud as an example, which was a huge disruption. We obviously had Brexit we had COVID. So it's learning from history and making sure that, ultimately we're nimble and agile enough to change what we need within the network to deliver effective, high-quality service to customers. And outside of that, I think there's been a lot of talk around sustainability today as well. So making sure that, it's very much top of mind, I think, for a lot of businesses. So doubling down in terms of how we can reduce Scope 3 emissions, whether that's through buildings, whether it's through vehicles, whether it's through out-of-home offerings, or indeed whether it's sustainable aviation fuel.
Excellent. Thank you, Duncan. Stu?
This is the problem of going last, right? Smart on my feet.
Nothing to say.
I think, so for me, when I come back to the sort of retail side, and talking to many of you in the room, you are facing into, as our customers, really, really tough trading environment. So actually for me, I think it's about this marginal gain element, because every penny is going to count throughout the P&L. And I think for many of you, if I take stock out of the mix, and you've probably committed to some sort of stock with a 6-month buy, the second biggest line on your P&L is probably us as a group, the logistics providers. So I think for me, it's going to be this helping you with that every penny counts, marginal gain focus on our P&Ls to help you build solutions for the future.
Excellent. Thank you. So for different lines of business, for different logistics segments, for different business units, of course, all of that contained under the DHL group with a lot in common. So maybe sometimes it's not as easy to perceive from the outside, but we have in common much more than what we have in differences. Beginning with, as you heard before, the entire focus on our people, security, safety, and so on. But for our customers, right, sometimes might not be easy to navigate our company, and we are fully conscious about that. So this is a great opportunity for the four of you to share what do we have in common across the business units, how customers should be thinking about, leveraging on the different capabilities of the different business units. I will start with you, Natalie, because in particular, Supply Chain has recently acquired BrandPath, which is, a company from Peter Jones, and is the fulfillment for small SMEs. So how is that, fulfillment in general, but how do you think that customers should leverage on your capabilities, but also the other business units?
Yeah, I think there's real value in us coming together, and you mentioned it this morning, Stu, when you talked about our uniqueness in being able to cover that whole end-to-end supply chain. And in being able to cover that end-to-end supply chain, we should be able to find value in the handshakes and the handoffs that exist between us. So the acquisition of BrandPath has been really exciting. It's an acquisition that allows us to really offer fulfillment on a global scale to e-commerce business, really helping those businesses scale quickly across the globe. And as part of that, we're working really closely with all of our partners across the group. Stu and I have been working together on how we can offer those services with our colleagues in Express on how we bring fulfillment and that whole final mile piece together. But how we can really find value in the end for the end customer, whether that's in efficiencies, whether that's in the types of services that we can offer, the experiences, it's really good.
Thank you. Stu?
Yeah, I would echo that. I think a year ago, my biggest question to DHL was probably, why aren't you working together more? And I know there's a number of people in this room that have actually said it to me over lunch. So I think for me, it's time. It's making sure that we have the time to sit together. I think it's a really fine balance, because you as our customers are going to want choice, and what we shouldn't be doing is enforcing full solutions on you. So we need to find the balance to make sure each business unit gives you the autonomy to make the decisions. But I think, to Natalie, your point, it's for us to then pull out the efficiencies of working together as a group.
Duncan?
Yeah, I think the first question you asked, Pablo, is what do we have in common? We truly care about our customers. I think that's what makes us very special. And in terms of the opportunity through collaboration, I think they've touched on it already, in terms of there's a lot more collaboration, there's a lot more conversation going. So if we can have and unite as one approach to our customers and truly understand holistically, the whole journey from the beginning to the end of the supply chain, through all of the business units, we're all specialists in our field. So whether it's, cross-border deferred solutions, whether it's, fulfillment, whether it's ocean freight moves, whether it's same day, whether you've got a time-definite international express need, we're there for you. And it's just understanding where we can fit to add our value and also to be an extension of your business to your customers to make sure that we're delighting them with the service that we provide.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think when we do come together, it's incredibly powerful. I think we have to establish which business fits the right part of a customer's supply chain, and find ways to deliver that. We've got some really great examples of how we're doing that. On a customer by customer or a site by site basis, and it really is a genuine, powerful opportunity. That we continue to be able to drive, but it's something we've got to continue to do and continue to get better at. We need to make ourselves easier to do business with. We need to simplify, and we need to do that for the benefit of our customers.
Excellent. So maybe without naming the customer, do you have any good example of how, by combining the capabilities of each of your businesses, you were able to address a more holistic need for logistics for a customer? Anyone wants to venture to say that?
Yeah, I think we've got a great one, haven't we, that we've worked on recently. So a growing e-commerce organisation came to us. We went in together with a forwarding, fulfillment and final mile solution that brought us all together. We had all three sales team on the pitch with the customer. We've created an end-to-end solution. We have one account management team that is working with all of us in order to look after that customer. So for the end customer, it is truly one DHL, and I think we were all super proud of the way that we've been able to respond to customer feedback, because this is what our customers have been asking us to do, and we've worked really hard to listen to that. And it's a great start, and I think we as a team sat around this table here are having a lot of fun really coming together and showing what we can do as a team.
Nice, excellent, thank you. Good example. So, question for you, Stu, and now this is a serious question. I just asked to ask about how are we applying AI in our business, and if we can be very specific about, what is the value for a customer, that would be great, please.
Yeah, I think sometimes we overcomplicate AI, and for those that have done the tour, and there'll be a test on the way out about the morphologic switch. I think there's a great example that sits on the conveyor belts over here, which is the AI technology that is looking at the size of the parcel, the centre of gravity, to make sure that we are routing that parcel to the optimum place is a great example within touching distance. I think further afield, if we think about the US deferred product, using AI to enrich data, making sure that when we get a Trump change in the US and retailers aren't used to giving us the right product data, we can use AI to really start to enrich that data. I think sometimes we massively overcomplicate the use of AI, but those are two great working examples that I think we use on a day-to-day basis.
Excellent. And can you have any good examples in
Express?
Express?
Yeah, very similar. Obviously there's a lot of AI that's leveraged within the operation, and it's kind of a bit of a buzz conversation, big buzz topic. And a lot of people ask a lot of questions in terms of what are the opportunities, how can we do things differently? And for me, my perspective is very much it's about using the data. And if you can become a little bit more skilled in the capability of forecasting by leveraging the synthetic data that you've got in terms of any import or export traffic as an example, it will enable you to predict upstream in terms of any potential headwinds or tailwinds that might be coming to impact your business. So then downstream, before that happens, you can really dig into making changes, whether it's going to be operational efficiency, whether it's going to be improving, the customer piece. Indeed, you might have sustainability goals and measures that you can act upon upstream to make those changes faster that can have a significant impact, whether it be strategic planning, So I think it's really leveraging the data, using it for forecasting, because then you can make a lot more informed business decisions that ultimately will not only streamline and improve efficiency, but also help support the bottom line as well.
Excellent, thank you.
In DGF, there's a couple of areas that we're doing. So to simplify the customer booking process, not having to ask customers to spend time logging into portals, using their documentation, have AI read that and book the consignments within our TMS, saves customers time, increases accuracy, increases processing capability. Smart ETAs around ocean freight containers, so looking at schedule reliability, looking at weather, look at routing, look at port congestion, and actually start to look at when containers will actually arrive and not just look at the actual arrival schedule that the shipping lines produce. So giving customers more visibility, more transparency, and therefore better data.
Yeah. I saw a great example. I was visiting your shared service center in India some time ago, and I saw a great example of how you are applying also AI to do the night party screening, which is more to protect you, our customers, of making sure that you are not shipping to anyone that you shouldn't be shipping to, and how you are leveraging on AI to make sure that all our processes are learning from experience and make sure that we identify any non-desired consignees. So yeah, that's a good example where you're using AI as well. Anthony?
Yeah, I think very similar. I mean, we're using AI to optimize warehouse layouts, to help our customers with things like demand forecasting and planning. We're doing some really exciting stuff with digital twins, so looking at how we recreate that supply chain digitally so that we can run various different scenarios and help our customers understand what decisions to make in each of those. But I think what's quite exciting about the way that we're using AI as well is that we're able to take away some of those mundane tasks from our people and actually free them up to do the value-added work. And that's another benefit that we get, internally within our business.
Excellent, thank you. Very good. So we have one last question, which is a little bit more internal, but we hope that is going to resonate with you as well, which is about our leadership attributes. For many, many years, we have had 3 core leadership attributes, which is what we call head, heart, and guts, which is how we try our team members to think and our management team to think in terms of call to action and execution and customer centricity mindset and all of those type of things. And this year, after many, many years, we added a 4th one, which is called bite. Right? And of course, as I was listening to my boss, the CEO of the group, the other day, when we had an extreme case of bite, he said, well, if you are only bite but not heart, you become a dog. So I think that, of course, there is an extreme version of what bite means, but this is about making sure that we have that entrepreneurial mindset, that day one mindset, in the spirit of making sure that we continue delivering good services to our customers. And bite is about that, right? This entrepreneur going beyond what we can do, is going, is putting our entrepreneurial mindset to improve the customer experience. So I'm going to ask you, what does this bite attribute mean to you, and how do you think that it could benefit customers? Maybe Dan, can I start with you this time?
Yeah, sure. The first thing that springs to mind would be, look, we live in a really, really, really fast-paced world. You blink and things are changing by the week, by the month, by the year. My daughter's already 5. Seems like she was born yesterday. So it's really keeping up with the trends, keeping the pace of the changes that are happening within our world. And to do that, I think we've got to have entrepreneurial flair. We really, really must continue to challenge the status quo. I think be constructively dissatisfied. I think we need to listen to customers. I think we need to be close to consumer buying behaviours, etc., and be agile and nimble and adaptable enough to be able to put products and solutions in place to make sure that we are making the relevant changes to satisfy the needs of the customer.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah. Biting DGF means understanding our customers and understanding what they need, and then us having the will to win to deliver that. It's by taking every shipment that customers give us as if it's the first shipment we've ever handled, and to treat it as if it's our own, and to deliver ours and therefore your promises. It's about that. It's about that will to win and that service delivery. That's what bite means to us in DGF.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think very similar to both of those. It's about the relentless pursuit to be the best that we can be for our customers, and how do we help our customers win with their customers, because when our customers are winning, we're winning as well, and that's where we want to be with bite.
Stu?
Yeah, I think for me, I'd use the words empowerment and actually taking decisions that ultimately, if it's a two-way door, and use the old Amazon analogy, let's give people the confidence to try stuff. And I think coming into such a big organisation, for obvious reasons, there's a hell of a lot of compliance that comes within DHL, but there are decisions we can take that actually we can undo. And certainly in our business unit, we're encouraging that empowerment at every level to make the decisions, knowing that we as an exec sit behind that person. And if it doesn't work, we can undo it and bring it back. So for me, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's making sure that we empower people to make decisions where it counts.
Thank you, Stu. Good, so thank you very much for listening. I think that we still have 4 minutes, and maybe I'm going out off script here, but maybe anyone has any question, any question that you would like to ask to these amazing logistics experts and leaders? If not, we will wrap it up. Any questions, anyone? Don't be shy. Good opportunity to ask. Don't ask for any discounts now. Okay, okay, no questions. Good, excellent. So thank you very much for listening, and I think that I leave it up to you, right, Stu, to wrap it up, right?
I am, yes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.